Hey everyone, just a quick video on lower back pain. Now, most people will have had it at some point in their life or will have it. There can be tons of different reasons why you might get lower back pain, but the most common reason and the easiest one to fix is just tightness in muscles in and around the hip joint and around the pelvis. Most likely suspect is going to be your psoas muscle, which is at the front of the hip there, or we call it your hip flexor. So the function of your psoas is to flex the hip joints. So people who spend a lot of time in a seated position, or they do a lot of repetitive exercise such as running, where you're going to be flexing the hip as you're running, that can become really tight. Now, the problem when that becomes really tight is it can cause your pelvis to tilt forwards like that, which causes increased pressure on your lower back. Also, to make it worse, when your hip flexors tighten up and you get that anterior pelvic tilt, we call it, it can cause dysfunction in and around the glutes as well, so they can become tight or they can stop working properly. So I just want to show you a couple of stretches to stretch your hip flexors and your glutes out, and that should go some way to either reducing or potentially eliminating your back pain altogether. First stretch, hip flexor stretch. Just get down into a half kneeling position like this, up nice and tall. Try and tuck your pelvis under and then just gently thrust forward until you feel a little pull at the top of the hip and into the thigh. So you can come in and out of the stretch and just hold it for about 30 seconds at a time. Glutes next, the best glute stretch I know. You need to sit up parallel to a wall, then spin yourself around, pop your legs up like that. One foot will come down like that, cross one leg over so the ankle goes onto the opposite knee, and then you're just going to sink your backside down to the floor until you feel a stretch in and around that glute. And then you just hold it again for about 30 seconds. Both of these, remember to do both sides. Now, with any of the stretches, you don't want to force them at all. It's just a gentle stretch and try and get the muscle to relax. Now, a lot of people often complain about low back pain if they're sitting down for ages. So if you're in a meeting at work or if you're doing loads of driving. So I'm sure you don't want to be rolling around at work or in the service station car park. So a couple of alternative stretches. Hip flexor stretch, instead of kneeling down, a similar position, except you're just going to stand up. So as best you can, try and keep the back leg straight. Again, tuck your hips under and then just stretch. Thrust forwards until you feel it pull into the hip and maybe down into the top of the thigh. And then the glute stretch. So if you're in a meeting, all you need to do, pop one leg up like that, and then hunch forward, flop forward, and even tuck your head down like that. And you should feel a stretch all in your glute and up into your lower back. So give these a try, and like I said, fingers crossed, they should either go some way to reducing or potentially completely eliminating your back pain altogether.